Hey everybody, so we're going to jump into our new unit, Environmental Chemistry, and this is the first topic that we need to cover. First thing that we need to kind of differentiate between are two terms called organic and inorganic. So substances can be one or the other, and an organic substance simply is a substance that contains the element carbon. And an inorganic substance simply means that it's not organic, which means that it does not contain carbon. So there's some types of organic substances that you need to know. And these are the three main types of organic substances that are out there. So we've got carbohydrates, which is an energy type of organic substance. We've got proteins, which is an organic substance that's used for structure, usually in muscle building and giving your body structure as it grows and things like that. And then the last one is lipids. And this is used for storage, so fats and different things like that, that if, for example, you are unable to go, or if you're unable to have food for a period of time, that your body has a storage set that is able to lean on and get the energy that it needs in order to continue to operate, which is a good thing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at sort of three, I guess, extreme diets that sort of heavily weigh on one of these three types of organic substances. And the first one is carbohydrates. And we're going to look at really quickly Michael Phelps's diet that he had during his reign in Olympic competition. He's the most decorated Olympic athlete ever. He's been studied lots, and it's really fascinating some of the things that he did and used for his diet in order to perform at a really high level. He was a swimmer, so obviously that takes lots of energy, and so he needs to fuel his body with lots of energy. And so what I've done is I've actually linked a video in the assignment for you guys on Google Classroom that you can go and take a look at and watch, because it outlines his diet during Olympic competition. And it's actually almost unbelievable the amount of food that this guy ate and the amount of carbohydrates that were contained in his diet. So go ahead and take a look at that video. It's super interesting, but really all it really highlights for the most part is that his diet was really high carbohydrates because he needed a lot of energy in order to swim all these meets that he was swimming and swim them at a high level. Other people may have a really high protein diet, and these would be people like muscle builders and people in competitions like that. And essentially what happens with this is when you exercise your muscles, you have little micro tears that happen, and you can see in this diagram right here there's just some little micro tears in there. And as you go through the repair process, like rest, and you eat proper foods that are high in protein, like different types of meat, steak, chicken, salmon, pork, these things would all have lots of protein in them, and what those protein molecules do is they go in, they repair the muscle tissue that has been torn through exercise, and fills in the gaps with more muscle tissue, and so then you get a muscle that's larger. So you see this before and after right here. And so protein shakes, you see lots of muscle builders drinking protein shakes. You might have maybe people in your family that are trying to get into shape and build some muscle and increase muscle mass, so protein shakes are a big part of that. It's a way that you can get a lot of protein in your body without having to eat, 18 steaks, for example. And then you can go ahead and work your body out really hard, and you can hopefully grow some muscle in a little bit shorter period of time. So that's protein. Lipids, if you take a look at sumo wrestlers, this would be an extreme case, again, where they're just really focusing on a lot of the lipids or fats in a diet in order to have a particular body type. And these individuals, their diet is quite interesting in that they only eat twice a day. They eat several thousands of calories in a meal. So the average person usually eats about 2,500 to 3,000 calories. That's quite a bit of calories per day. A sumo wrestler will eat about 21,000 calories. 21,000 calories a day, so it's about 10,000, a little over 10,000 calories per meal. And they only eat 2 meals a day. So they actually skip breakfast, they sleep through breakfast, they eat one of these big meals, then they'll go and work out first, and then they'll eat one of these big meals, and then they'll actually go back to sleep again. And it's because when you're sleeping, your metabolism slows down, and these guys, they don't want to burn calories. They want to eat a lot of calories and then have their body turn that into storage, so lipids. And so they eat a tremendous amount of calories after they work out, and then they go directly back to sleep. And so they'll wake up in the later evening again, do another workout, eat another big meal, 10,000 calories or so, and then go back to sleep, and then they just repeat that. And so it's quite interesting to kind of study that as well and take a look at how they are able to have such extreme body types. So those are the 3 types of organic substances that you guys need to know: carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. And you need to know what each organic substance does, or what's its main function. So carbohydrates are for energy, proteins are for storage, lipids are for proteins are for structure, and lipids are for storage. So moving on to the next slide, we've got what are now inorganic substances, and these inorganic substances are substances that are used in humans, or that we have in our bodies. So you can find a really large table on page 180 in your textbook. It's table 3.2, but these are the 5 main ones that you need to know. Okay, and part of your assignment is to go onto that page and to find a definition for, or not a definition, but the function of each of these 5 inorganic substances in our bodies. What are they used for? Why do we need them? Inorganic substances are also minerals, and minerals are essential to 2 major things in our human bodies. We have enzymes and we've got vitamins. So enzymes are used to speed up chemical reactions. It's just to help your reactions in your body occur at an appropriate rate so that you don't just keel over and die. And these vitamins are used in helping the enzymes function. And so if you've ever been asked by parents to take vitamin C or other types of maybe supplement pills or whatever, it's not a bad thing, because those vitamins really help expedite the process of these enzymes' functions and helping your body function properly. So minerals are also a type of inorganic substance, and they are essential in enzymes and vitamins. So this is all found on that page in your textbook on the previous slide, page 180 here. Now, the interesting thing about a lot of these inorganic substances is they're found in the earth, mainly the soil. But this is one reason why the main reason why we don't eat soil is because we can't eat enough soil to get enough of those minerals in our body that's helpful to our body in any way. And this is why plants are so important to the survival of the animal kingdom on the planet. And it's because plants absorb these minerals through root hairs and their roots and other functions, and then they sort of make these vitamins, proteins, lipids, these organic and inorganic substances in higher concentrations in the plant, so that then us as humans or other animals can go and eat those plants and get the nutrients that we need from those. So plants are important, and because of that, we want to know how they grow and what makes them grow really well. And there's actually 3 types of inorganic substances that are used to help plants grow. So we've got nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And if you remember from the chemistry unit on the periodic table, nitrogen is denoted with the symbol N, and phosphorus is denoted with the symbol P, and potassium the symbol K. And so it turns out that actually these 3 substances really help root, stem, leaves, flowers, and plants grow really well. And that's why these three substances are found in fertilizers. And it's because these elements really help to yield a very high crop production. This could be in gardens, could be on farms, whatever. And this is just a little picture here kind of showing the nitrogen cycle. What these fertilizers do is they provide a supply of nitrogen in a form that plants can use. Our atmosphere is made of like 75–78% nitrogen. And that's the troubling part about it, though, is that it's in a form that plants really can't use. And so that's why fertilizers are so effective, is because they can provide nitrogen-containing compounds in forms that are very easy for plants to use, and this is why plants will grow really quickly when you spread those fertilizers on them. And so here's a bag of fertilizer right here, and you can see on any bag of fertilizer you'll have these numbers. And so you can see this number here is 21, 7, and 7. And all these numbers really indicate is the percentage of those three elements: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So these numbers are always listed in the same order, indicating the element in the same order for whatever bag of fertilizer you're using. And this bag has 21% of this bag's mass is nitrogen, 7% of this bag's mass is phosphorus, and 7% of that bag's mass is potassium. And so that's what those numbers mean on bags of fertilizer, and that's just something that you need to know for the course. So you can make note of that in your notes as well. And that's it, guys. That's all we've got really for this week's lesson. Please read the instructions carefully for the assignment that I've given you so that you can fill that out properly. You may need to use this video and re-watch it to kind of go back and get the information you need to answer the questions that I've given. As well as I've provided a bit of an optional activity that you can do that's a lot different than just kind of writing some notes and stuff. And it's a really good activity that I think would be applicable to sort of the time that we're in, where we're sort of springtime and we're looking at getting maybe gardens planted, and we're working with seeds and things like that. So this would be kind of a cool little experiment, I think, for you guys to perform at home if you have the materials. You don't need to feel obligated to go out and buy the materials for it. Don't make sure your parents know that it's not an obligation that you go out and do this experiment. If you don't have the stuff at home, it's definitely not a requirement to do it. So I'll post the assignment. The assignment is definitely required, but the experiment is an optional thing that you can do as sort of an extra whatever to just kind of get a little bit of a different feel for the concept and kind of dig a little bit deeper into it. So it's not hard to do. It should be a lot of fun, and it's an option there for you. So hope you guys have a great week and that you enjoyed doing the assignments that I've given. And we'll be back next week with our next lesson. Take care until then.